G'day. There's been a lot of confusion this week about Labor's announced reforms to dividend imputation. I'll say from the start that Labor is not afraid of taking difficult decisions to ensure that our economy is fair into the future. Now here are some facts. 1. No one will pay a single cent more tax. 2. No one will lose a single cent from their superannuation contributions. And 3. No one will lose a single cent from their pension. Fourthly, no one will lose a single cent from their share dividends, that is, their share of the profit that their company makes. A little bit of history. Treasurer Paul Keating introduced imputation credits back in 1987. Without imputation credits, shareholders would effectively pay tax twice, once when the company tax was paid on profits and again when shareholders paid income tax on their dividends. Our proposal, announced this week, restores the original imputation system introduced by Paul Keating and Bob Hawke. That is, to ensure that income isn't taxed twice. When the Australian budget was in surplus, John Howard and Peter Costello changed these rules so that shareholders who actually paid no income tax could receive government cash refunds from their imputation credits. I should point out, no other country in the world has this system. So this concession has created a fiscal time bomb that we can no longer afford. In fact, last week, government debt just hit $518 billion, which is up a lazy $245 billion since the Abbott-Turnbull circus started back in September 2013. So when John Howard and Peter Costello introduced this change, it was costing taxpayers about $500 million per year. Now it costs the budget about $5 billion a year, so 10 times more, and it's actually projected to soon go to $8 billion. To put that in context, that's more than the Commonwealth Government spends on public schools. So I'm proud that Labor continues to announce this policy, even though it is tough, but we've announced it well in advance of elections to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to understand it and to apply it to their own personal circumstances and adjust their circumstances as appropriate. So if anyone in Moreton has some further questions or has a particular scenario or is worried about how this will affect you, I'm happy to speak to you personally. So call my office on 33442622 and provide your full name and address and a return number, and I'll call you as soon as I can. So fundamentally, this proposal, which I know is concerning for some, it makes our tax system fairer and more sustainable, and that's always worth doing, and that's what good governments need to do.